Hi there, Gemini. Welcome to your mid-July 2019 general tarot reading. It's raining here. I got the Emperor and the Empress. The heart of the matter is the Emperor. The Emperor can connect with the sign of Aries. I connect it with Capricorn. I think that the qualities that I associate with the Emperor seem more like how I imagine a Capricorn male to be like, or that type of authority figure. This can be a judge, even somebody in a position of authority, but it can be an individual like a boss or a father. That's why I was saying I got the Emperor and the Empress. So I got the mother and the father archetypes. And the Emperor as an individual can be somebody who works in law enforcement or in the military, is in the military. And they have that kind of, I don't want to say militaristic mindset, but that, this is right and this is wrong. And this is kind of what you see a lot of times with people in those kinds of positions, that they have a very clear framework that they kind of operate from. And this can rub you the wrong way, Gemini, because you're very fluid, you're a mutable air sign, and you're very chameleon-like. And you can don a variety of masks. And so somebody kind of telling you how it's going to be or viewing life in a certain way may not sit with you very well, just based on your own personality. So in the past position, because I did get the Empress, for some of you, if you are female, that is, if you have, made a baby with this person, you may not really have understood the full extent of that rigid mentality until you're in too deep. And it's like you can't just say, okay, see you later, because now you have procreated with this person. Now, this can be also a situation of you falling in love with somebody who is like the Emperor. So for instance, this may be something that is a pattern for you, where you tend to go for people who are very authoritarian in their personality, or they hold beliefs that are quite black and white, and it's so funny, because even if it's something that irritates you, you may still find that you go back for more. Even if you go to another person, you're just like doing the same thing over and over again. And if that makes sense to you, Gemini, there's definitely something that you're trying to gain from this. You're not doing it just for no reason. So chances are you're trying to deal with something that happened to you long ago. Maybe it is with your father, and you're trying to get this person to change because you couldn't get your father to change. It's kind of like if you grew up with an alcoholic parent and you find yourself attracted to alcoholics. It really wouldn't make sense, especially if it felt really traumatic or just not desirable to have that situation, and yet you find yourself attracted to those types of people. chances are you're trying to make something work that you felt that you were responsible for, and you weren't responsible for that. And you can't change other people. So if you're with somebody who is, in your opinion, quite narrow-minded, or they have kind of like a controlling attitude, know this and don't waste your time trying to get them to be other than what they are. Because it's, first of all, it really isn't fair to them. Even if you think that their behavior isn't correct, you have to take people as they are. You don't get involved in relationships because it's a rehabilitation project for you, right? This could be your boss, and this could be a situation where you were promised something that was creative, because with the Empress, this can be something creative, and maybe this person did a bait and switch on you, and they're kind of like laying down the law, and you feel like, hey, I thought I was going to do this, and I was going to use my brilliant mind to come up with these creative things, and they want you to do something that you feel is not really, wasn't in the job description, and they're not really bending. The higher message is the Page of Pentacles, and by the way, as I record this, we are in the midst of a Mercury retrograde, so messages become very important. Page of Pentacles can be practical messages that are connected to work concerns or money matters, but in this case, if this is like a workplace situation, you may, like as a higher message, it could be saying that you need to reach out to other places and stop trying to get this person to change, but that you seek out other avenues to pursue for work-related things, practical things. And don't just assume that you have to work at this particular place. Maybe you don't have to work there. Maybe that's not the end-all be-all. At least get it in motion. You may hear from some place that you put out an application or a resume in the past. During Mercury retrograde, it's possible that you could hear from something that you thought was long gone, and it comes back like some kind of an opportunity for you. So never say never, I guess. What crosses you is the Queen of Cups. This, again, so here we have another card that connects with Queen and Mother. So Queen of Cups specifically is connected to the sign of Cancer. In the challenge position, in a general way, this could be that you're not taking advantage of your creative gifts. The Queen of Cups can be an artist, and you may be kind of neglecting your talents in that regard. Even if you're not using them on the job, you still should create, even if you're just doing it for yourself at the moment and you're not getting any money for it. That's a true artist is going to create regardless. They're not just going to do it if there's something financial in it for them. The other thing too is that you may not be using your intuition very much. This is a psychic card, and it's in the challenge position. So perhaps you're kind of overriding your gut instincts about somebody. And maybe you think you can make it work when there's no evidence to support that, where this person simply is too controlling. And again, going back to the idea of the father, it may feel familiar to you if this is how your father was. And if you're like I'm not going to just even say if you're a woman, but if you're a person who had a very controlling father, an authoritarian type of father, and you're attracted to men who are like that, even though personally you can't stand that trait, but you just find yourself with this type of person over and over again, you're going to have to do something about that, because it's a contradiction. And it's not leading you into a good place. It's not giving you what you want. So if you really want success in a personal relationship, you have to change your behavior on the front end of things. And, you know, the same thing with working for one of these people. Some people can handle it. Some people almost feel safe, like this is the person who owns the business and he's kind of everyone's daddy, and they don't mind that. But for somebody like you, Gemini, male or female, you're a masculine sign, and you tend to have your own assertive tendencies. In other words, you tend to be somebody who can, you know, likes to call your own shots. Let's put it that way. And you may kind of like do a double take if somebody wants you to do their bidding and they have kind of an autocratic way about them. That may not sit well with you, whereas you may have coworkers who are perfectly happy with that type of leader style of you know, that style of leadership. They may feel safe, they may feel taken care of, but you may bristle at somebody kind of acting like the king, you know, instead of giving you that sense of autonomy, even though you're working for them. The advice is the Page of Cups. This can be, to me, but there's a couple of things here. I'd say, first of all, even like saying play dumb, play innocent, not lie, but don't show your hand, but act very open. Don't act with hostility, because especially if you are fielding other offers, if you're going on other interviews, you don't want to burn any bridges. You don't want to give things away. You want to kind of smoothly transition from one job to the next. The Page of Cups, too, can be getting on a new foot emotionally. So if we have two pages here, pages can relate to children. So again, I mean, there might be some pregnant Geminis or something like that, and you're like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm with this person and I'm pregnant. So it may just be enjoy your pregnancy, but if this is something else, pages can be messages. And you, of course, are ruled by Mercury, which is kind of like the messenger. So here we have the Page of Cups. We had the Page of Pentacles before, which is more of a practical message. This is a message that is connected with emotion. And you may be talking very practically about a potential job opening and talking about all of those, but you're also bearing your soul to somebody. You're also explaining your feelings about something, and you may feel this sense of maybe this is connected to the full moon even. Let's see, for you, this is going to be, it looks like this is going to be this lunar eclipse will be in your 8th house. And this is other people's money. So this could be a situation where this has something to do with an inheritance or something. And maybe it's with the father's side of the family. Maybe that's why he's in the middle there, the emperor. Unless that's the judge rendering a decision. So you may be having these heart-to-heart talks with people about family matters, about this, about things that have been kind of building up inside of you. And maybe it's uncharacteristic for you. This is going to be an intense lunar eclipse for you, Gemini, because it is falling in an intense house, the house that Scorpio rules. So as a full moon, it's like that purging, but it's, you know, it's just like, and it's interesting too because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, which is the father. So there could be like a very strong father vibe there. The outcome is the Two of Wands. This can be a choice that has to be made. I've been noting lately, notice how that's like the Gemini sign, that Roman numeral 2. And this can even be about relocation, whether or not to stay in your local area or move somewhere away. Since we have 2 pages, I mean, it's possible that there's new relationships that you've started with a water sign or an earth sign and an earth sign. And it sounds to me like the earth sign is a better bet, probably because earth and air are both detached, and water people, the water signs, are Gemini. Oh, Gemini. The water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And the Page of Cups is Pisces. Okay, so that might be specifically a Pisces person. And Pisces is a mutable sign like yours. So that's the one that you might tend to gravitate towards. The thing is that the water signs tend to place a lot of demands on air signs. And not only that, they may not understand your basic nature and makeup, and they may misconstrue your attitude as being uncaring. And so you might just find that you get into these fights all the time or misunderstandings about whether or not you're sensitive enough to them. So unless you want to have to explain yourself all the time, you might be better off with an earth sign. So that's a possibility too. But it just shows that you're at a crossroads in your life for some reason. Maybe if your father has passed away, and by the way, this would be something that already happened, Gemini, and you're dealing with an inheritance, you may feel like this is the only thing that's keeping you where you are, and you're ready to move on in your life, and you're thinking about actually relocating. Okay, that's what I have for you, Gemini. If you would like a personal reading, my website is RenaMoonAstrology.com, and the link is below. Take care. Bye.